The other day I told you that I have not completed or details about our life. Jīvitaṃ aniyataṃ maranaṃ niyataṃ. I think you have heard these sayings. I have printed one booklet also. The title, Life is Uncertain, Death is Certain. The sayings of the Buddha. Life is uncertain means from our birth up the last breath, physically and mentally, the life is going on changing, and facing so many friction, clashes, and mentally, physical pain and disappointment and fear and worries and suspicion, physically various sicknesses and pain and ache and suffering and old age. These are common occurrences. There is nobody in this world who can stop all these things. That is called dharmata, the nature of existence. So life is an energy. No one can see the life. The body is the house. The house accommodates our life. Mind supports. Mind and life work together. Life cannot exist without mind. Mind cannot exist without life. Both cannot exist without karmic energy. The karma that we create, good and bad, energy. So these three are energies. So when the body or the house, that life exists, house is going on decaying, old age, sicknesses, and one day collapse. That means the element and energy cannot work anymore together. Element separate. Then the life, mental energy proceed, depart. Life depart according to the guidance of our own karma. The karma support us. Where to go? Whether to become humans or animals or spirit or ghost or devas or brahmas. Our karma is responsible for that. All the other religions say God is responsible for that. Another person is not responsible for our life. Our own karma. Kammana vattate loko, sayings of the Buddha. The whole world moves according to our own karma. Because human mind cannot function without creating karma. Either good one or bad one. By thinking, by talking, by doing something. We create karma. Every minute we create karma. Then karma divided into three groups. Kusala karma, akusala karma. That means good karma and bad karma. Or morals or immoral. Then in between, neutral. It's neither moral nor immoral. I think about 80% of our karma belong to this group, neutral group. Neutral means we never develop kindness, compassion, sympathy, understanding, honesty, do neutral karma. At the same time, cruelty, anger, jealousy, grudge and enmity also never develop. So, mind is free from both. Take for instance, early morning when you get up and take something and go to work. All these are action, karma. Work and earn, draw a salary, go to market and buy things, come and cook and eat. All these are neutral karma. And we plant vegetables or flowers or fruits. All are neutral karma. They are not related to moral or immoral. So the effect, good and bad effect, we experience immediately or within this life. Now you plant a mango tree. It is a neutral karma. So you have to wait for a few years to enjoy a mango. It is neutral. By doing that, you have not done any good karma or bad karma. But you can create this into a good karma. Same action you can use to create good karma. You plant a mango tree thinking for others to come and pluck and eat. Then you create good karma. If you do it for yourself or your family, that cannot become a good karma. It is neutral. So action alone can change. So, Kiccho Manussa Patilāpa. In Dhammapada, the Buddha says, it is very difficult to become a human being, a human life, to gain a human life. When you compare the number of human beings and number of other living beings in the water and on the earth, so human beings are very limited, not even 6 billions yet, less than 6 billions, the whole world. But some other living being, in a small area we can see few billions. So, becoming a human being is just like climbing to the peak of the Himalayan mountain. You have to climb and climb and climb at the risk of your life also to reach the peak or the top. So we have reached. Now, we had to make use of this life after reaching, without misusing, without abusing. But very few people really make use of this life, because their minds are deluded, misled by ignorance, craving, selfishness, jealousy. So they misuse. Very few people developed their kindness, sympathy, compassion, honesty, harmony and understanding. Very, very few. So, Kiccang Macchana Jīvitang. Again the Buddha says, although we gain human life, but it is very difficult for us to maintain this human life. As you can understand this, in many countries, millions of human beings are starving, dying without food. And many other countries, millions of human beings are living without any shelter, under the trees or pavement or roadside, whole life. And millions of others cannot find out a piece of cloth to cover their nakedness. Millions of others are dying from various sicknesses without any medicine. That means they had little bit of good karma to be born as human. But they have not accumulated enough good karma, supportive karma, to maintain this human life without facing troubles and problems and disturbances and shortcomings. Now we can understand why good karmas are important. These good karmas follow us like our shadow wherever we go. Then always support, provide necessities, requisite, whatever we need through the influence of these good karma. And those people who are born in certain countries, who suffer because they have not done enough good karma to maintain that human life. Again, in Mangala Sutra, Buddha has mentioned, Patirupa desa vasocha pubbecha kata punyata. To be born in certain countries where we can live peacefully, without fear, without worrying, without suspicion, we can maintain some sort of satisfaction in our life. Even natural disasters also not disturb them. But some other countries, people have to face. Then see what happened to Turkey. Nearly 45,000 died. So, then we can understand how fortunate we are here. We are free from such natural disasters. And nobody is starving in this country. Everybody got something to eat. Everybody can find out a piece of cloth. Everybody got a shelter. But compared with many other countries, we are very fortunate. That is what the Buddha says, Patirupa desa vasocha. Those who have done enough good karma get the chance to be born in certain countries, certain areas where we can lead some sort of life with some sort of satisfaction. We can satisfy with our life when we compare with others. Therefore, whenever chances are there, the Buddha said, must try to do some meritorious deeds, because they are important for us to maintain our life until we attain the highest stage of sainthood, arahanta or Buddhahood. After that, no need to have any karma, because we are not going to continue this life, birth and death, we stop it. So we don't know any more karma. Then it is called final goal. Freedom, salvation or deliverance from physical and mental suffering. So, whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we believe, still we have a lot of problems. There is no life without problems. Whenever we meet another person, always we talk about the problems and troubles and sicknesses. But very seldom we can see how they express their happiness or satisfaction. That means always we have some problems, some troubles. Almost every day, at least 3-4 people come to our temple. Come and say, Reverend, I have a problem. Then I said, you are very lucky, you have only one problem. We have so many problems. Then I reduce the tension. After that, I'll go, right, what is your problem? Then he says, oh, this is so simple. It is very common, happening everywhere. Why do you want to take this so seriously into your mind? And then reduce some more. So after talking, then he get up and go and laugh and smile and go back. So, it depends how we take things into our mind. We create as very big problems and troubles. So, one day, a Deva came to the Buddha and asked this question. Anto jata bahijata jata jatita paja tang tang gotama pucchami ko imang vijate jata. This is the first stanza in Visuddhi Magga, the path of purification. By taking this, Reverend Buddha Ghosa has written a book called Visuddhi Magga, Path of Purification, nearly 700 pages explaining this. The question is this: all these living beings have internal and external problems. Anto jata, bahi jata. Anta means inside, bahi means outside. Every living being faces internal problem and external problem. Jataya jatita pata. These problems create some other problems again. Now they are just like waves. When waves goes up, come down. Push again, another one come up. So our problems are like that. To get rid of one problem, we create another problem. After that, we forget the old one, struggle with the new problem. While we are struggling to get rid of the new problem, we create another one. Then we forget this one and deal with the other one. So all our problems are like that throughout our life. Even after our death also, we are not free from problems. Because bad karmas that we have committed follow us and again start the problem. Then we are at the end of it. Then he asked, how to stop this problem? That is the question. Then the Buddha gave the answer. Sīle patiṭṭhāya naro sappannyo cittaṃ paññañca bhāvaye ātāpi nipako bhikkhu so imaṃ vijate jataṃ. The answer. So one day, 4 ambassadors from 4 countries came to see me. One from Russia, another one from Pakistan, another one from Burma, the other one from Sri Lanka. 4 of them. Because when they meet, they always argue how to overcome our human problems. So these 4 have 4 different opinions. Therefore, they cannot come to any conclusion. Then finally, Sri Lankan High Commission suggested, why not we go to a Buddhist temple and discuss with the reverends. All of them came. Then they realized we are arguing regarding this subject, how to overcome our human problems. And Pakistan ambassador of the High Commission says, God is the only one who can settle our problems. The more we develop our belief and confidence and obedience to God, then we can overcome our problem. Then Burmese ambassador, he is a Buddhist, he said, there are many countries where people very strongly believe in God. Do you think they have no problems? Now what happened to Turkey? They pray 5 times a day for their protection. So that could not settle their problems. Therefore, he said, we must educate people. Only through education, creating that understanding, we can settle the human problem, not praying to God. Then the Russian ambassador says, there are many countries where there are people who had very good education. But do you think they do not face any problems? Therefore, how can you say education can settle our problem? Therefore, I believe we must create some sort of equal way of life by reducing the richness and the poverty. Divide the property in the whole country equally. So when we divide in equally, no discrimination, no differences, no suffering, all can experience, enjoy their life equally. Then we can overcome our problem. Then others say, there are many communist countries where they try to overcome their problems by dividing property equally. Do you think they have settled the problem? In some countries they face more problem than others. Another thing, by dividing the wealth equally, we cannot abolish poverty. Why? Some people are very cunning, very intelligent. Some others are stupid or very low mentality. So what will happen? Those cunning people know how to bluff these ignorant people and slowly take away whatever they have into their group. Then later this person become rich and that person become poor. It is happening. So that is not the solution to overcome our problem. Then Sri Lankan High Commissioner says, if we can lead a pure life by following a religion, so we will be able to overcome our problem. Now 4 opinions. Then others say, yes, there are many countries where people practice religion, which seems there's no solution for their problem. Religion become the cause of their problems. Then here, what is my opinion? Then I told, all are wrong. Whatever you say, you are wrong. That is why you cannot settle your problem. Then I quoted this sayings of the Buddha. What the Buddha said, how to overcome our problems. Sīle patiṭṭhāya naro sapañño cittaṃ paññañca bhāvai. He recommended 3 things for us to practice in order to overcome all our problems. He said there is no another method for us to practice to overcome our problem. Sīle patiṭṭhāya. Sīla means discipline. First we had to uphold, practice, maintain some sort of discipline. Mentally, verbally, physically. We must have some sort of discipline. Our discipline we had to practice in different ways, in different places. Now when you come to this place of worship, your discipline is different. You do not behave like this when you are working in the society, in your office, where you work. Their disciplinary code is different. When you stay at home, you too must have some sort of discipline. As parents, in front of their children, how they behave, what they talk, what they do, they must have some sort of discipline. Otherwise, we mislead these children. Again, men, when they talk and associate with women, men have some sort of discipline. How to talk and how to deal with them. Otherwise, lot of problems we have to face. Again, education means discipline. Edico, Latin word. Edico, Latin word, meaning development. Education, now we use only for the book knowledge, worldly knowledge, or material gain to find out the job. Job-orientated education. Neglected discipline. Vidya dadati vinaya. Sanskrit. A very beautiful saying. Education gives wisdom. Discipline. Education gives discipline. Without discipline, whatever we learn, we can misuse, abuse, insult, can play havoc. Therefore, main purpose of education is to cultivate our discipline. Vinayadeti patrata. Having seen our discipline, people recognize us, welcome us, support us. Having seen our behavior, discipline, they trust, they support. After that, patratvang dhanamanveti. We can gain anything, whatever we need. Started from discipline. That is called education. So the Buddha introduced this word as sila. Sila means discipline. Discipline here is the moral development. What sort of thought we develop in our mind, what sort of words we utter, what sort of action we take for our living or for our pleasure. So in everything, there must be some sort of discipline. That is called sila. So, just now you observe pancha sila, 5 silas, precept. To discipline yourself. Observance means remind. You remind. These are our principles. What are those principles? Not to harm others, not to steal or bluff or swindle or cheat others, not to tell lies, to mislead or harm or gain something, and not to have sexual misconduct. Committing adultery is one thing, sexual misconduct is another thing. So adultery is mostly for the married people. Sexual misconduct for anybody who misuse and abuse their sex. If they can keep away from this, that is discipline. Then, last one, to keep away from intoxicating drinks and drugs or anything whatever it is. Why? If we take them, we lose our sense of reasoning. We lose shame and fear. We do not know what we are doing. Then we can commit any kind of immoral or bad things through the influence of this. Then no discipline. These 5 principles are not belong to only Buddhists. The whole humanity, if can observe these 5 disciplines, the world can become very peaceful, can live without fear, without worries, without suspicion. And now we can understand why the Buddha said, discipline is the first step to overcome our problem. Without that, whatever we do as worshipping, praying, offering, chanting and all sorts of rites and rituals, without discipline, there is no peace. Sile patittaya naro sapanya. Then the third one, the second one. Chitta. What is the meaning of chitta? Mind. Chitta means mind. We had to develop our mind. How to develop? Mind is covered with so many dark clouds. Deluded. Therefore we cannot develop, we cannot see things properly, we cannot hear things properly, we cannot understand things properly because of the darkness of the mind. So these dark clouds are our ignorance, our anger, our greed, our selfishness. All these are very strong dark clouds. So when we try to remove this dark cloud from our mind, then the mind gets the brightness. darkness disappear. Then we can understand things very clearly. Not necessary to struggle to avoid bad things. From the very beginning we can understand, oh, these things are wrong, these things are good. That is called development of the mind. This we cannot get from the modern education. Modern education actually pollute the mind, create more confusion in the mind. There is no mental development. They maintain some sort of memory as knowledge. So in that knowledge, there is no wisdom, only memory. They can remember what is written in the book. They can remember what their teachers or professors or lecturers taught them. That is memory. But they have not developed their mind to keep away from evil, wicked, immoral, harmful things, to do some service to others with kindness, compassion, understanding. You cannot find in them. So the development means that understanding. Then the third one, after developing our mind, we gain panya. What is panya? Wisdom. Knowledge is one thing, wisdom is another thing. Entirely two different things. But when our mind becomes pure, the knowledge we can turn into wisdom. Otherwise, we can use our knowledge for bad purposes. With anger, with jealousy, with selfishness, we can use our knowledge to harm others, bluff others. So when we remove all these things, that knowledge we use only for good purpose. Now let us take, scientists have discovered atomic energy. By thinking they can do wonderful things for the human being. Finally what happened? They produce atom bomb, nuclear weapons, destroy the whole world. The wisdom that they had, knowledge that they had, is not wisdom. The knowledge that they had to discover atom, they misuse because no wisdom there. So whole world is shivering today because of nuclear weapons. That is the danger of knowledge without wisdom. Now, that knowledge we can turn into wisdom when we reduce all the evil forces from the mind. Albert Einstein always says, science without religion is blind. Religion without science is lame or crippled. Correct? Take for instance, without religious discipline, scientists discovered so many things in this world. Everything they can divert for the destructive purpose. Because no religious background in them. That is why he says, science is blind without religion. Then religion is crippled without science. Today, people are educated. They have scientific knowledge, worldly knowledge. Therefore, religion cannot bluff them so easily today. Few hundred years ago, before they discovered so many things, yes, religion could manage to bluff. It is not bluff purposely. Those who introduced religions were also in the dark. Example, at the beginning they said this earth is flat. It is a religious belief. But later, Galileo or somebody discovered this is not flat, this is go. Then religious people had to surrender there. Then they believe this sun is going round the earth. It is mentioned. in religious books also. But today nobody believes that sun goes around the earth, but earth goes around the sun. So, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, nearly 100 years they had a big battle with religious people. But today they have surrendered. Recently, Pope had to announce human beings were not created by the God, come into existence due to evolution. That is why Albert Einstein says, religion without science is not active, crippled. But if we can combine with scientific knowledge, we can do wonderful things from religion. So these are very important things for us to consider. So, here, the Buddha has introduced 3 methods for us to overcome all our mental and physical and internal and external problems. What are the 3 things? First, we must have discipline. Then we must develop our chitta, our mind. After that, we must gain wisdom, supreme wisdom. After gaining this supreme wisdom, no more trouble and completely free from physical and mental trouble and disturbances. So how to gain wisdom? Just now I mentioned, our minds are always clouded, deluded, misled by our ignorance and wrong belief and misconceptions and wrong ideas. We have to remove all these things from the mind. Then a stubbornness, a skeptical attitude in our mind, we had to remove. Those things interrupt the development of our human mind to understand things properly. Then, when these 3 things completed, no more troubles, no more problems in our human life. So I explained to them, then they accepted the teachings of the Buddha. Then, today, when they analyze our human life, one writer says, if we can record from our birth up to the last breath, if we can record pleasant, unpleasant feeling that we had in our life, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, record, every day. And he said, in the end, 95% unpleasant feeling, only 5% pleasant feeling. This is the nature of our life. Within one day, how many hundreds of unpleasant feeling appear in our mind? Anger, jealousy, fear, suspicion, insecurity, uncertainty, hunger, thirst, physically. How many times? Then worries. All day and night going on, worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying. Pleasant feeling sometimes the whole day, not even 1 minute. This is the nature of our worldly life. Another writer says, if this earth is flat, without rocks and hills, if all the trees turn into pen to write, if the water of all the lake and rivers turn into ink, he said, still not enough to write human problems. Can you understand the nature of human problem? Just now I told you, nearly 6 billions. You go and meet all of them. Then ask, how is your life? Lot of trouble, so many problems, and my wife, my husband, my children, my business, my income. Then start telling one after the other. Everybody. Nobody says, yes, no problem whatsoever. We are living very happily, very peacefully, very pleasant. How many people are there? This is the nature of our life. However, we are fortunate when we compare with many others. We are not mad. How many millions of mad people are there in this world? This morning one mad girl came and disturbed me for many hours, talking, just released from the hospital. So, then, one day I went to mental ward at the university hospital, ladies section. One lady came and told me, "Do you know why men are suffering in this world today?" Then I say, "I don't know." "Do you know, your Buddha ran away from home without even telling his wife. That is why every man is suffering today." See how she had discovered the new philosophy. So for that we can say it's a madness. However, we are not mad. We are not blind. Those who cannot do anything. That means we have done some good karma to be born as full-fledged human beings to make use of this life, not as retarded one. Again, just now I mentioned, the country where we live can compare with so many other countries. What sort of violence, bloodshed, earthquake, volcanic eruption, war, everybody is shivering in fear. Whatever little bit disturbances what we have here, still we can sleep peacefully, without fear, without worry. So, nobody is starving without food here in this country. Everybody gets something to eat, and piece of cloth, and shelter. That means our good karma supported us to be born here, and still maintaining, spending our good karma, we lead some sort of life that where we can satisfy. No doubt, occasionally we had to face sicknesses, calamities, problems, worries, disturbances. They are natural. Every living being has to face. Then, another sayings of the Buddha, Sambādhoyang garāvāsu. Household or worldly life, those who lead a worldly life have to face enormous sambādha, obstruction, hindrances. Every worldly person means those who have not attained sainthood. All the others are worldly people. So each and every person has to face lot of hindrances, obstructions and difficulties. Sambādhoyang garāvāsu. Rajasāyatanang iti. That way of worldly life becomes the cause for them to create lot of bad deed. To lead worldly life, you have to tell lies. Without telling lies, you cannot lead a worldly life. If you do not know how to tell lies, people think you are mad. That is the nature of worldly life. And you must know how to bluff others. Otherwise you are not intelligent. You cannot do business without bluffing, without telling lies and black marketing, smuggling. For your pleasure, people do so many immoral things by leading a worldly life. Therefore, that way of life becomes the cause to create a lot of bad deeds regarded as bad karma. Abhokaso pabbajja. Renunciation from this worldly life is just like a bird in the sky. This bird does not carry any barang, no suitcase, no vitamin tablet, nothing, only 2 wings. They migrate from country to country, never carry anything. They can fly either this way or that way, no hindrance, a space. They go there and find out something to eat and something to settle down, sleep, relax, happy. Those who have come out from that worldly life experience this kind of freedom. Do not worry about the property or the house or the income or the bank account, nothing. Mind is completely free. And do not worry about the children also. Because animals and other living beings, they love their young one, even sacrifice their life to protect their young one. We have seen how they struggle, fight with others to protect their young ones. But when they grow and when they can stand their own feet, okay, now you can go. They never depend on their children. Other living beings never depend on their children. They take trouble to feed and look after, support and train. After that, leave them alone. No attachment. Never expect anything in return from children. The trouble with us, we also attend to them, look after them, train them, educate them, but we expect something in return. We always complain, oh, they are doing very well. My son is doing very well, my daughter is doing very well, but they never look after, attend to us and complain. But other living beings never say anything. So those birds are free even from that, without depending on others. So the contentment in our life settles so many problems. Santutti paramang dhana. The Buddha says, Santutti, contentment. Paramang, highest. Dhanang, wealth. Contentment is the highest wealth. So the contented man is the wealthy man, but not rich. Rich man is not a wealthy man. Because rich man always have fear, worries, suspicion, unhappiness, go and hide, so many problems. Contented man has no such thing. Because he had no craving, no anger, no jealousy, doesn't create violence, doesn't create problem, because he is contented. Now see the vast difference. These are the beautiful sayings of the Buddha. Santutti paramang dhanang. Contentment is the highest wealth. So one day, King Kosala came to see the Buddha and told him, I have seen the priests who belong to other religions in this country. And I have seen your disciples. But your disciples are so serene, very, very cheerful, appealing to the mind and good complexion. But in others, we cannot find these good qualities. I also heard that your disciples take only 1 meal a day. But all the others take 2-3 times their food. But I cannot understand how your disciples maintain all these good qualities. Then the Buddha gave the answer. Atitang nanu sochanti nappajappanti nagatang paccupannena yapenti tena vanno pasidati. Atitang nanu sochanti. My disciples never worry thinking what they are past, what they have done. Because Buddhism does not encourage to repent. By repenting, we cannot overcome the problem. Just ignore, forget. Then cultivate. That is the Buddhist technique. Don't worry for the bad thing that you have done earlier. Completely forget. Neglect. Then cultivate. So my disciples, although they have committed bad things or not, do not worry about their past. Nappajappanti nagatam. My disciples never worry about their future. Where to go, what to eat, and what can we do, who is going to attend to us when we are sick, when we are old. No such feeling in them. All those people worry about this. What will happen to us? Who is going to attend to us? Cannot trust even children, just now I mentioned. These worries always disturb their mind. Not only while living, after their death also, they give instruction. You had to bury my body in such and such place. You must buy a coffin in this way. You must offer all these things. You must cry. Yes, you must cry. So, that means they cannot, even up the last breath, they cannot lead a life with contentment and satisfaction. So, my disciples never think about their future, where to go. One day, an astrologer came to our temple. He told us he can tell our future. I read in the farm. Then I told him, we have no future. Then he knew that he cannot do anything for us. Then there's one girl who was typing. He went to see that girl. Asked, do you want to know about your future? I think she had overheard what I said. And that girl also said, no, we have no future. We don't worry about the future. Then now he started going. He came to collect at least $few. Then he was going. Then I told him, it seemed that you also have no future. So, those who plan for their future is exactly like that. So, a man was arrested for sleeping in the Supreme Court building. It is prohibited. No one can sleep there. He was arrested and taken to the court. Then the judge asked, what is your job? Oh, I always tell others about their future. Then the judge asked, did you read about your future yesterday? What will happen to you? So, so these things are like this. Don't worry about future. Not only about future, even the next birth also don't worry. The Buddha says, a group of young people, Kalamas, they came and discussed. They said, there are so many religions. Actually, we don't know which religion is suitable, so we want your advice. Then the Buddha said, he did not say Buddhism is the only best religion. Buddha never said. He said, certain things are good for you, but not for others. Certain things are good for others, but not for you. Certain things, if they are good for you, as well as others, then accept. This is the advice given by the Buddha. If any religion, you can find this, then accept that religion. They satisfy. Then they ask second question. They say, it is difficult for us to believe that there will be another life after our death. Then the Buddha said, you shouldn't worry about that. Forget about it. Completely forget about that. Whether you believe or not. Because it is natural. Belief is not important for that. Now, birth is natural. No need to believe. Sicknesses are natural. No need to believe. Old age is natural. Death is natural. If anything happened to us after our death, that is also natural. Our belief is not important. You can say, oh, I don't believe in rebirth. Can you stop that? If rebirth is there? And he says, oh, I strongly believe there is a rebirth. If there is no rebirth, can he create the rebirth? Therefore, belief is not important. You must do your day-to-day duties without neglecting them. That is the advice given by us. Then, automatically we are going on molding our future. But some people suffer within this lifetime by preparing for the next life. without eating, without taking medicines, and without laughing, without joking, without enjoying, thinking, oh, they cannot find a suitable place in the next life. Without taking medicine. I think you have read in the newspaper yesterday in China, a Christian group banned by the Chinese government introduced a religious cult for people not to take medicines when they are sick. And they had some cold water, they come down from heaven and bring this. And when the government came to know that so many people died without medicine and completely banned. So the way how people introduce their religions nowadays. So ignorant people believe all these things. So this contentment is very, very important for us. If we are contented means this is enough for me or for my family. That's called contentment. After that, jealousy never appears in that mind. If no jealousy, no anger. No anger, no violence. Free from so many things, no enemies. Then the Buddha says, so my disciples maintain all these good qualities, physical appearance, because of these three things. Paccupannena yapenti. Whatever they receive, they accept. They never grumble. They never say, this is not enough. They never say, oh, this is not very good, buy another good one. They never say, contentment is there. Then always cheerful. They are always maintain very healthy and serene complexion, because the mind is pure. This is the nature of our life. So these things are important. Whether the monks or laymen make no difference. To have some sort of contentment, not to be so greedy, not to develop jealousy for nothing, have some sort of satisfaction. This is enough for us. They allow others also to enjoy their life. I think more than an hour. Okay, blessings. Sabbitiyo yajjantu sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavattvantarayo sukhi gayako bhava. Sabbitiyo yajjantu sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavattvantarayo sukhi gayako bhava. Bhavatu sabba mangala rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena dasuttihantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. So good health and peace and happiness to all of you.